Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Right, back on the bench. It's Easter Monday. Woo-hoo-hoo! Do you know, I used to play golf to avoid my kids, but now they come with me. So that's fucked, innit? I'm gonna have to think of something else to do that they don't like. But anyway, that's parenting for you, innit? Here we are, we're getting to the nervy bit, ain't we? I've minge fudged this neck a little bit. I'm trying a new thing with little Dave. He's sitting up much higher with a bigger view and I'm never going to look at him. He's like that dodgy uncle in the corner of the room that's just watching you and you're not supposed to know he's there. Little Dave is now on the register, so we're going to treat him as such. I've minge fudged up. You can see I've got some brown staining. It's like we've had a bad Chinese takeaway. But it's all looking a little bit prim and proper. We haven't aged up the copper. It didn't stain, it didn't do anything on that, so I'll experiment with that later. We need to finish off these frets, give them a little tiny touch up while we're all still nice and solid, and then a tiny little fret job just to get her going while on the bench. Don't have to put it in a clamp or a jig because this thing is not bending. I can't bend that, it's fucking solid. Let's just get right into it. Let's nip off me frets on an angle. Lovely, next step, simple, just gonna file down the edges. This sometimes feels a little bit brutal. You can just hear the pitch change. Right, next you need to put the angle on. This is just an eBay cheapy angle file. Don't know how it's gonna go. You have to put that bevel on the frets. I've left the frets quite upright before on the sides, but even though you get the edges smooth, it doesn't feel smooth when you play it. So put the bevel on, just gets the frets out the fucking way of your hand when you're playing the beast.
One eternity later.
There we go. So we've got a little cheeky bevel on there. I kind of went until I just saw a little bit of plastic coming away on the binding. It's almost looking professional. I don't want to go too far. Now I'll keep my cheeky leveling beam, my old one, around just for this. It's got 240 on it. Just gets in a bit nicer there. It's a bit finer than that file, isn't it? Handsome. Right, next step, we've got to do a cheeky little fret job. Brand new frets, you've seen what we've done on the neck all the way through. It is flat, but we've got to do a fret job. So I'm just going to quickly check it with my not straight edge because there's no harm in checking. We are near as damn it flat, near as damn it. There's no adjustment at this stage anyway because the truss rod's not going to adjust a fucking girder, is it? It's not going to have a chance to now. Let's get some pen on and just have a little look at these frets. We'll just touch over them. I'm going to go with purple this week. Always experimenting with pen colours that I can see in LED lights. That is shit, can't see that. Back to red. So initially, just a few passes. We've just got 1 or 2 high frets there. I can't see that purple at all. Lovely, and we have just touched the tops of pretty much everything there. I'm basically checking that there's no fucking massive problems and we've got no minger frets just doing silly things. Let's just check all the way along. Some people might say, oh well, when the neck's under string tension, it might not behave the same as when I straighten it when it's not under string tension. You can't fucking win every scenario, but you can check every scenario, and the most important thing is the end result. There's nothing wrong with doing a little bit of a touch up and another fret job or whatever you've got to do at the end if the result is not absolutely perfect. It's weird, when you first start making guitars, I'm waffling, when you first start making guitars and you first start doing fret jobs, you put guitars together, it's a moment of anxiety. It's not so much now. Most of the time these days I put guitars and I get a big grin on my face because they go together lovely. But there's always that one, you never know. So, and you're always worried about it. Of course I'm worried about getting things perfect. That's why I do what I do. Let's have a little draw around this now. We'll check on the drawing. So looking at the picture on the Anderton's website, which is what I would do for most things, I can see that the top of the guitar body is hitting the neck at the 18th fret. So that's fairly simple, isn't it? So I know that this fret here is where the body is going to start. That's where our route's going to start. So then we can start thinking about carves. Where's the fucking body? Here it is. So it's around about there. 18th fret. I know that's where it's going to intersect the body. Proper job. I'm happy with that. Simple, isn't it? Simple. So I'll just get a little cheeky drawing now around the bottom. All right, so we've got an approximation there about where it crosses the body. That's all I need for now. I know that my carve is going to start around about there. I'm going to manipulate that in by hand when it's done, I think. Gibson template. That's where my carve's going to start. I know the dimensions are pretty much the same. So I'm just roughing out a mark. We've got a plate to go on there. I'm doing a tiny volute under the nut. Nothing big at all, but just a little one. Now that is way oversized. Way oversized, that mark. I'm not going to bandsaw anywhere near the final dimension because I'm not a fucking psychopath. And I've got some lovely router bits that are going to do most of the shaping for me. And then we'll just bung it on a coil and we'll just rough it in and we'll get this looking pretty nice. We'll get the headstock through Eileen, get her to work her magic. That'll be lovely. And then once we get that, we'll have a neck looking like that. It's the most nervy bit. This is actually super skinny. I've done it on my Les Paul. So mine is actually only 20.54. You can see my little teeny tiny volute there. Oh, she's delicate, isn't she? She's a delicate little bitch. And at the 12th, I've only got 21.3. So this is what a lot of people would consider a skinny neck. I'm not going to go quite as skinny with this one. This one is going to be a little bit beefier. They're set up on the bandsaw and then we'll start chopping. And we'll put the Terrifier on. Have you met the Terrifier before? Holy fuck. Mind your fingers, slags. I've gone a little bit fatter than my Les Paul neck. This one's a bit skinny. I've gone a little bit chunkier with that, a bit more traditional, more like a Revstar actually. There's a few lumps and bumps in the neck still. I've got to carve this out. When you bind a neck in like an opposing colour, you can see it's good because it shows you everything that's not quite following a contour. You've got lots of tram lines to follow and it works quite nicely. Little teeny tiny volute, I'm happy with that. Nothing too crazy. Definitely some more shaping to do, some finessing, but we're bound up. We're bound up. Everything's looking nice and tidy on the binding. Everything's looking pretty good on the bottom. Got to finish some cavities and all that sort of shit. We are starting to look a little bit sexual. Talk about 11th hour filming. This video's got to go out Friday and it's currently Wednesday. Quick update on the marathon. 5 hours, 10 minutes. Abysmal time. 7.5 grand raised because of all you fucking cheeky bastards. Legendary. It was great. 3 weeks, I'll keep it brief. 3 weeks before I did it, massive calf injuries because I was training on flat ground, which I've never done before. So much to learn. Binned off the gym about 3 months ago to concentrate on long runs because I didn't have enough time to do both. Massive mistake. And 3 weeks ago, or 3 weeks before the marathon, I didn't think I was going to do it. Luckily, a week and a half of literally not even walking around and we got somewhere and I was all right. And I managed to do a 10K before I went to London and I felt good. So it was all good. 32K in 3.5 hours, which was my target. And then I hit this wall, a big, giant ice wall. It was fucking awful. hardest thing I've ever done. This is me crossing the line.
At the end, there he is.
Good
Well done.
lads, well done, Paul.
I think we'll all agree that is not running. I don't know what that was, but I was a broken man. But I did it for charity and I loved it. Thanks very much. Draw a line under that. Let's move on. But actually, one of the best experiences of my life. Not the race part, but all you lot and the interaction. It was amazing. Right, I'm not showing you everything on this build. Of course I'm not going to show you everything on this build because that's boring. I've got all my routes and everything done. I haven't done my back cavity yet. But we're pretty much routed, ready to go. Where's my neck? Where's my neck? So we've got our ash faceplate, so go in matching in the black. It's pretty tight, it's very tight. Everything's lining up deliciously as it's supposed to.
I'm delicious.
It's all looking pretty awesome. All right, once this thing goes black with cream and all the rest of it, it's gonna look rather sexy. But we've got more copper work to do. That is phase one. So let's get rid of the neck. Wind your neck in, Paul. I've been told that before. Thank you for all your wonderful comments, everyone. As usual, new t-shirts available in Teespring. If you order a t-shirt from Teespring and it takes ages, I'm really sorry. It's nothing to do with me or the creators. It's those fuckers. They take ages sometimes. If you've got to wait 7 weeks for a t-shirt, I don't think that's unusual. Normally quicker, but they have been known to drag their big fat stinking heels. And I apologise about that. Here is a big lump of copper. We've got to make a copper pickguard, and I want it to look like this one, which is one that I made a long time ago for someone else. Spit it out, I'm knackered. It's been a hell of a day, hell of a day. That is a Revstar pickguard. We've got P90s in here. This is for a humbucker Wannabunner, so I can't use it in its entirety. That is not a Revstar pickguard. That is a Revstar pickguard. Moment of complete confusion there. That's from an SG. Ciao for now. This is a Revstar pickguard. Get it together, Paul. I've had it for a while. It's for humbuckers. It's no good for what we're doing here. So I need to alter it. Of course we need to alter it. I need to cut it out for P90s tonight. Cutting copper of this thickness, because it is thicker than my kids, which is pretty unattainable, I've got to say. It's really thick stuff, proper thick. So I've got a special contraption that I bought years ago, and it's really, really crap. And it leaves a lot of work, but it was cheap. And I'm gonna use it in this video because A, I haven't got an alternative for cutting this beastly shit. I've got no metal blades for my jigsaw, which is a bit annoying. So we're gonna use it. I'll introduce you. This is a wank machine. I don't know what its actual name is, but it does all sorts of nubbin tickling, and it basically nibbles the copper. You just run it through, you attach it to a drill. I'll demonstrate, because let's not all fall asleep. If you made it to the end of the what tools does a luthier need video, well done. You are very, very stoic. The most boring video I've ever made, and it performed very, very badly. Let's hope people watch it a lot in the future. So we're gonna use this. Let's get rid of the body. Get rid of the body! Oh, incidentally, I've got some mahogany cut from the same block, I think, that I'm going to use to make the pickguards. So that should match in as invisible as we can get it. Less visible than my cock after a run. Filth. Right, we've got to draw around this. All I've got to basically do is leave out these cutouts for the pickups, and we'll have to do that beyond in a minute. We'll mark them out. But for the minute, let's just cut the rough shape. How should we do this? I don't have to be that particularly exact because it's a custom guitar. And it would be nice to use a flat edge somewhere, but I haven't got one. So we're gonna have to cut all of this out beyond. You can make it any shape you want, to be honest. You could do some little bits on the end, whatever you fancy doing. I'm sticking El Tradicionales because that's what Martin likes. We're going to put that in a tub with some ammonia, and we're going to age the bastard and get it to go some funny colours. I'll show you how that's done momentarily. We'll reconvene over here. I'll bring little Dave over and I'll show you how we use the nibbler, because it's barbaric. Honestly, it's awful. By the way, did you see this comment? What an absolute toenail. In fact, thinking about it, perhaps I'll cut the next guitar out using my toenails. We'll go right back to our roots. Will I fuck? You're a dick.
I bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to give him a reach around.
Right, I think we can all agree that that's looking pretty horrendous. I've got to use my dad's old clamp that he used to keep his lawnmower going with, and we're going to clamp the drill open, get him whopping, and we're going to cut that shape out. It's as simple as that. So enough of that shite. Right, back on sitcam. Stu Mac have just texted me for the 97,000th time this week. Calm it down, Stu Mac. Your texts are out of control, mate. If I need something, I'll fucking buy it. That's how it works. Right, so there we go. We've got plenty of room there. It actually works better than I remember. I remember that being a bit shite. That bit through that, a piece of piss. There we go. We've got plenty of room. I'm oversized because we used a fat pen. Good little tip for you there. The other advantage of that is the copper don't get too hot, because if you start sanding this shit, woo, gets a little bit Simon Weston before you know it. Now I've got the arduous task of sanding this. I'm going to do it in the Triton sanding machine. I'm going to do it gingerly. We'll take it over, because if I follow this by hand, it's going to take fucking ages. And I want to get that edge lovely and flat. I'll give it a double rub there. I don't know if you noticed on little Dave. Dave likes, this is rub cam. We'll use that. New March. Incidentally, just had a little batch of prototype parts trays, which I haven't engraved or sanded or anything yet. If you're interested in one of these are prototypes. Are going to be a little bit cheaper. I'll put a link down below in future videos. I've got to open an eBay shop. Apparently that's how you do it officially. Or I might go Etsy. Should I go Etsy? That's posh, isn't it?
And all you can talk about is money.
If I get a good uptake on them, I'll make loads. I'll say I make. My mate James Yard does them on his CNC, because his CNC is fucking better than mine used to be. Okay, little bit of deburring, just because it's a little bit sharp and nasty. At this point, I'm not worried about getting the odd mark. I'm gonna orbital sand that before I go mad with the ammonia. If you haven't got a bottle of ammonia, buy one. It's not hard, is it? Just careful when you open it. Fucking, oh my God. Smelling salts, it's horrific. It's horrific. It's about 4,000 bedwetters all in the same scout tent. Okay, so that's not bad. That's not bad. That's a little bit crispy. I'm happy with that. It's looking like a pickguard. We're getting somewhere. Now we've got to mark out where our P90s go. Ooh, technical. What I'm going to do is take the liberty of fixing it down. I'm going to use 2 holes that Revstar use just for the minute. And it's these 2 outer ones. I'm going to drill them, screw it down to the body so I know it's fixed. Let's do that, because that's fucking smart. And that's a rarity round here. That is a rarity. That stuff's absolutely shit order on the back. Piss, it's a piss take. It's a piss take. If you're at, I should say, if you want a custom guitar build, I've got 1 or 2, I think 1 slot left for this year. And then after that, we are 2026 builds. Woohoo! It's exciting, isn't it? I film everything, but I can only get 1 series out a month because I can't edit any more than that. But I have got a Brian May Red special build. I've got another SG coming up, which is rather special. George Harrison's Rosewood Telecaster, a micro Kiesel, a semi-hollow Les Paul, a greenie. There's all sorts of wonderful things. If you contact me, incidentally, and ask me for a black fucking Stratocaster, which is relict, no, sorry, not me. If you want a Strat, buy a Strat. Fenders are pretty good. Okie dokie, I'm happy with that. I'm just gonna get a rough idea for my center lines. Excuse fingers. Used to say that at youth club. 27, 27, I'm parallel. That's fine. I'm going to push down very hard. You can stick that down if you want to before you drill your holes. I'm going to put 14 stone 4 down on top of it. Not going to bother countersinking anything for a minute. No point with that. So we'll pop some screws in. Now, I was toying with the idea of sticking this on, but I didn't like that idea. We've had a change up of furniture. We've got a black Goto bridge now, and we've got black Goto locking tuners, which are fucking gorgeous. Try not to trip over the bin when you're demonstrating things. Right, so now I know where my P90s are. That's easy, innit? So this is my P90 template. I'm going to do this as accurately as I can with a pencil. Not big fatty fat. Not today. Not the fat purple one. Feel that in there. Make sure I'm nice and flush everywhere. Now if I can cut them out gingerly, don't really want to use the monstrosity of a cutout device, but I think I might have to. I think that's going to be the easiest way of doing it. Right, get this unscrewed, nibble them out, file them very carefully and gently. We should have something that looks pretty much correct. There was talk in the original design of a centre stripe on this guitar, but I fucking hate centre stripes. I've done them before and I don't like them. I do like them if they're really big, like a racing stripe, like an AC Cobra, but little ones in the middle look a bit naff. Just save it, I've saved it for the back. So Martin's not mentioned that. You haven't mentioned that, Mr Davey, have you? Mr Davey is also a janner, but he's from a city called Bristol for the uninitiated. He's not far from me. Hi Martin, waving, special wave. One guy waved back at me on the train and the woman next to him thought he was fucking nuts. Here's news for you, mate. You are. Yep. Incidentally, cut to the chase. Someone messaged me the other day and said he was disappointed that I didn't accept his message. If you use offensive language in my comment section, YouTube quite often will flag it and ask me to okay it. It will tell me it's offensive. It's normally just hilarious. And I always click, yeah, that's fine. Occasionally, I say occasionally, it might be quite often, YouTube will decide that even I don't get a choice. And someone left me a comment the other day and he used the word that rhymes with long and starts with And apparently YouTube didn't like that word. Unless your comments are horrific or you're being horrible to other people, I'll always okay them. Perhaps you could have used the word schlong. It's a weird world we live in. Well, that actually worked pretty well. It is called a double-headed cutter. I can't remember where I got it from. It might be an AliExpress Wonder Bra. I don't know. But it works all right, that. If you want to do a little bit of copper smithing, is that a word? I don't fucking know. All right, so after a bit of fettling, lots of fettling, lots of filing, we've got this shape here. That's looking all right. These are the pickups that Mr Davey has provided me. I tend to do all my custom builds with Warman pickups because I love them. They're PAFs and are especially rather pleasant, as I've demoed lots of times before. And lots of you have bought them and gone out and come back with positive feedback, which is nice. It's not an affiliate link, but there is a link below. If you want posh pickups, because we all know you can spend fucking hundreds and hundreds more, then normally I'll get people to buy them and send them to me for customs. That's the only difference really, because I only take a deposit for custom builds and I'm not going to shell out, you know, 400 quid on a set of pickups for someone to fuck me around at the end, which has happened. Well, I think that'll just about do us for this video. I'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you for enduring another episode. And I don't know what I'll show next week. Obviously there's no truss rod cover because I use man truss rod spokey wheels. But yeah. Very metal, very me. I'm not metal at all. I'm just a fucking twat on the internet. I'll see you next week, everyone. Love you, bye. Special wave.